Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk about oneness and tuning in to our emotions and feeling and joining another brainwave state, which would be the alpha mode. So yeah, I've experienced some sort of a oneness lately because I ended up having all my senses being amplified, seeing the atmosphere, the air change. Whenever I get closer, you see the air as if it's kind of be mirage like, or denser, or as if it's like something that's mixed within the air. Kind of the air is you can see the air, and I call those different dimensions or planes of perception or something. I surprised myself when elaborating theory and questioning myself about reality creation, whatever, God and spirituality. What was I gonna say? Something moved. With all of that, how did I experience that? Because I was getting all my chakras blasting open all the time and having all this intake of cool air or beer or prana. Well, in the social war, they call it beer, whiskey, and rum, and wine, and tea, and all the different whiskey. I don't know if you can taste the. I get the taste in my mouth. It melts things, this dough in my brain. I started feeling the energy that circulating within me, and having this kind of a mushroom-like dome with a fountain inside of a. You can feel the energy come just bubbling down, just like when you use mercury. Mercury on the top of your head, it melts your the energy that's hardened out and stuff. It takes a slight warm up in order to feel it move and all that. Sometimes it's just an elevator with kind of a pulley system. There's a wire or a hardened that energy that bends and keeps the bend kind of thing, just like wire, but it's twirled from the bottom of my perineal area up the shoulder. Somebody put that there. It might be hard to believe, but yeah, the narcissists can add stuff inside your body because they actually in alpha mode and probably even theta. I never really experienced theta consciously, although I did have few lucid dreams, I think. And it wasn't the point of this discussion. So yeah, you feel the energy, and sometimes it feels like this net or this membrane that's really thin and translucid with veins crawling and making like if it would be a cellular tissue, just the one coat of cellular tissue. But that's some sort of magic dough. It's the energy that circulates, that materializes inside of you. and I can feel it coming in. I want to treasure. I got the whole wake up. When they say the wake up, the way is up here, it's the grail. And you take a breath from the front when you hear that, and it's free energy from the universe. And I ended up having all my chakras, my abdomen chakras, all staying open, and you can feel some sort of saucer-like mushroom that generates this cold air that you could kind of breathe in this way instead of through your mouth. It's the prana, the chi. In the social war, they call it beer and whiskey because the narcissists, the right-wing narcissists and fascists would copycat and infiltrate and be some sort of best friend killers kind of thing. So what was I supposed to say with that? And they had the ability to poke your intimacy open, to open your mind, and to play with your subconscious mind and give it orders or play around with your muscles and stuff. Most people never experienced that before, being well protected by, too well protected by television and music and all that. They'll kind of program you into this sort of state where you have these closing up mechanisms whenever your bubble is bursted, and that we all go open minded every once in a while in a day. Most people will have the reflex to say something, so they squeeze the rib cage back down and contract muscles, or they move. The head will turn and they'll reposition themselves. I have a problem with my short-term memory. What was I saying? So yes, and so they had the ability to play around with your mind when you're open. And the thing is when you're and when they take those pictures of you, or they try words, seeing if they make you react or not, trying to find more keys to play in your mind with, and keywords that unlock your spirit, or not your subconscious, I guess. And then they can. Me, since I was always it, and I was a good fellow with a kind of a Che-like, neutral, aligned mentality and marginality and anarchist kind of point of view in politics. So I was a threat for the empire kind of thing, well, for the New World Order, at least, of the 1%, because I would be militant for those causes. So that caused me to stumble by watching TV, and those are TV programs, and it's casting, and it's spelling, and Hollywood is a wand. So they actually cast the mantras, and by looking at how the people you identify to move, you will record those moments and the words that were said when the person moved, or what happened to make her move, and all that. What feeling did you get? Did you feel something, or did the love appear, or whatever? So what made them move? And then you'll probably develop that same reflex. And a good example is, well, for me anyways, I don't know if it's for everyone, but when you listen to music, especially folk that's from your region or your area, your country, they have the slang words, and they have the proper way to call every situation, and their subconscious places everything at the right spot. So when the words are said, there's this sort of channeling that happens, and the right here operation kicks in. Well, for people that are in a position to write or to print words on the pad, on the love, in order to get that into its interests in the future, it makes them love that. And then when you're playing with this common mind space, and you're writing on that, well, the love and I don't know what kind of make some sort of truth and virtue message out of that. And the combination that brings into the one's mind. And since everybody's kind of inside the one, which would be God, because it's His spirit and thoughts that are creating everything. So, because we're just celestial entities living a human experience, and we're learning on how to live physical life. So yeah, narcissists can play with your mind, and they're telepaths. They can, by touching your doorbell, and or just overlapping with their spirit, your mind, they can say stuff into your mind and give orders. Usually, that's what they'll do. They'll give orders and commands, and if you don't hear them, well, you actually start obeying and doing exactly what he told you to do. One example would be because I'm always one or chief or whatever. If there's 20 or 20,000 persons, I'm always it. And I get this clairvoyant. I see things blink with sound. Whatever is it blinks, or if the music will. A normal vibration will lead to death, or the smokes, or the ashtray, or the lighter, or something, or the beer. And then the music will correct it towards life. Because I've been kissed this auto self-destruction recipe by what we call the camp, which would be Nazis and fascists and unlawful people and cons and whatever that were trying to take over the world. Or they were eliminating all good fellas and all the best. I was kind of a little leader when I was younger, and I was the king of the mountain, and I was always ahead and proposing stuff and leading the group kind of thing. And I had really good scores. I really easy for me to learn and all that. And I was really a good person. I would not screw nobody over, not even for personal interests. I would never lie or steal. Well, I stole stuff from rich multinationals and sandwiches at 7-Eleven, but I never stole directly a person. But some sort of way, even when I used to play with money a lot, I had all these opportunities where I could bulk buy and reduce the price and then sell the same price. But I wouldn't do that. And they would have never noticed that I would stay straight. And so I guess that might have paid up. And the fact of being open all the time, is when you're it, that you identify to the it person in the movie, so you'll position yourself in the social structure where it goes. But since the Egyptians, there was a hierarchy that was installed, and whoever was on top of the pyramid was God, and would dictate, like Benedict, the last pope. It was a Benedict in Latin, French. Bene is béni, is blessed, and dict is something that dictates. It's to dictate. So whoever's on top dictates, and those dictates become your interest. You don't even notice you're being dictated that much. They don't even have to take a dictator attitude. You just have to write it down with the microphone on the pad on the stage, and it prints all over everyone's mind in the collective mind space. And the spaghetti they'll be eating that day is the Pope spaghetti or Italian spaghetti, like we had in the past. That's where the flying spaghetti monster stories come from. It's because when you feel the energy inside you, there's the one where the spine goes is a long tube. I call those U tubes because you would be the wolf or the rats or the evil, and I would be the good, and I love you. They work together. They balance each other, good and evil. So I call those U tubes because it's the U's that squat in those tubes. They become little horny feelings or love feelings or little love crumbs or clams or worms, long worms that run away all the time, that play around in these folds of that cellular membrane. I can feel that has a texture. I don't know if that would be alien writing or something on the tape. We call that tape, or a cosmic tape, or a dough, because it feels like dough. You can stretch it like pizza dough. And plus, when the Pope was Italian, well, it was logical to say we eat dough, because dough is pasta and pizza. And so Homer Simpson, I think that's what he means with the dough term. Dough, because you need dough in order to make magic, to write down, to create, to feel, and then you can impregnate it with thoughts and words and vibrations and colors and feelings. And it's kind of a memory at the same time. This is stuff I channeled. I surprised myself because I kind of, when I go up there past the line where the ideas get created, I see I don't have my inspiration. I hesitate. There's nothing coming in, but it seems like I'd be filtering. I don't know what. And the higher I go past this, I get erasals, or I don't get any succession in my ideas, or it takes a while for me to interpret whatever is coming in, because it's a brand new concept that I haven't even thought about yet. And I surprised myself talking about man being the creator of God. Well, man, or most likely celestial entities, that by combining energy, interest, thoughts, opinions, and will and whatever, form this collective soul or entity that plays the role of God, and that is godlike or divine, because it's the best balance of the community and the best option that's filtered with love and good vibes. Whoever wrote right here is on the bottom of your belly, is when there's like you can write, you put the words with the bottom of your stomach, will print on that tape, and it'll go to Houston. So that you can write. You have to be on the pad for that. You have to be what they say right here or right now. Well, start talking. What you're saying prints. Don't say shit. It won't print. It won't stay if it stay shit. Only honest, Johnny like, innocent, spontaneous speech will write down properly, and it'll get the right mantras and graphemes, the sounds, tuta, tikamu, ha, chi, those are all graphemes, but all those sounds are gonna add up in this magical order and form words, even though you just press the beginning of the word and the end. Well, something else is going to print in the middle later on or something. It's weird. It's funny how reality functions, because I ended up confronting a very scary demon this mid-July, and I kept on listening to this band, Mon Serge, in Quebec, and he had this song. It says, "This book, ce livre," and it says, "Ce livre, this book." But every time he talks about this book, I flash again. Like when they say Jesus and God and Christ and worst and best and one and whatever, a lot of words. I've always been open. They put everything, all the worst and all good words mixed up in my bag, in my ground zero open mind to know what activates me with my keywords. I'm always open. I'm always drifting or contracting because I'm always open-minded. So in order not to be vulnerable, I contract. I'm on this drift that gives a gin effect. That's from the antenna on the top of the head. There's a love on top, and if you rub the music on the love, everybody gets confused, and you can write stuff on that love that'll become what they love and words they'll use in the future. So you just have to love evil, and they become like you want them to be. So it's not good to create a conflict or try to avenge yourself. No, nothing gets created, nothing gets lost, everything transforms. So even the worst person will end up changing if she's kept below rational and virtuous, innocent people that talk upon it. Well, they will impregnate reason and virtue by dictature or commandment into that person's head, talking on the love, and that's it. That's why skinheads have a red mohawks nowadays, and Nazis have look like punks. So, or Rasta. I got this. I saw this fascist band. They gave me a corset. They grabbed my breath with a cello, and whenever she play, it keep me the ground zero where the rib cage is down, where they put what you're gonna want next time you want something. That's where they put the addictive addiction pattern. When they sell dope to, they drag you down, you unconsciously breathe down, and then they put whatever the ball that has this sequence of foam, white powder, cash, coat, lighter, spoon, vein, kind of. They have this nice little sequence of objects that you keep on doing every time on repeat whenever you days off or daydream. Well, you're going to be doing that trail again, and then end up staring at the same thing again, and it's that same deadly first step to the deadly junkie sequence that they hook you on when you're a good person. So yeah, so I surprised myself talking about this collective mind space and celestial entities, and I didn't know about channeling at all, but from listening to channelers on YouTube, I noticed that they were saying the same thing I was 2 weeks beforehand. So I had actually thought of that too. But if I'm one and everything comes out of my mind, well, obviously somebody's gonna think about that somewhere. It's like when I first busted the wall I had these "will take care of that for you" in my head, repeating that and telling me, and I had to let go what was bugging me all the time. So I don't think I'm at the wrong spot. I think I'm right where I should be. And this voice kept on telling me, "We'll take care of that for you. We'll take care of that for you." But I fought on, and it tried scaring me. Or I can't really remember that psychosis or schizo episode. Well, all I know is I got mad and I said, "Justin Power will take care of that for you." And then you could read it on people's lips. People that would talk to me, I'd see a different message on their lips. I'd see either "will take care of that for you" or "Justin Power will take care of that for you." They would blink and I would walk in. I'd be one of the three. I managed to print on top at where the Pope was. I don't know how I got there, but I bypassed the whole security system and the spiritual cage they hold us in to keep us consuming in this capitalist system and reality we live in. So yeah, with love and by writing here and right now, well, you transform it, and evil should eventually disappear. Plus, if we uh, say stuff that are just positive, evolutive, and constructive, and speak no evil ever, evil will disappear from existence, because the evil is a man-made concept, because in the universe there is no such thing as evil energy. So it's evil, man-made, malevolent creation. But according to me and what I stream and what it makes me decide and say is, yeah, is what I just said. So I think we all channel uh, a bit once in a while, especially when we are asked about our feelings, or sometimes we'll channel with the garbage or the ideas of the person in front of us. And did you ever notice that things are never said? If you pay attention to what is said around you, you'll notice that someone's talking to you, and that there's this spirit or a soul in the collective soul. This or one of the message was intended to you for you. And when they talk, it's because you get aura connection, and you propagate what inspires that person to talk, so she becomes a puppet playing a role, and the comment she just said was a message dedicated to you from the universe. Nothing is a coincidence. All of those things are speaking to us, and either from a kid's voice or a discussion, the universe speaks to every one of us and works to give what every one of us want. So last time I made it on the pyramid, well, that book of God, that, well, I would flash when they would say this book, this book. Well, that book liberated itself on it, but it spilled out knowledge on top of the pyramid. So everything that was said on the plateau, on the pad, on the stage, or on the mic, everything that was said in a right here, right now attitude will have been filtered by the collective mind space and the collective values and love, and this weird force that balances things out and maintains the equilibrium acts and I can't remember what I was saying, but who comes in. So I think, we all, when you talk to someone and they look like they're somebody else all of a sudden, or this person starts talking exactly like your best friend or your sister or your brother, and you see they're pausing and they have the same wave of speech as my brother. The same is my brother speaking through that person. That is some sort of channeling. That's channeling from your mind, and you have the position of your brother, and that reflects, and something makes that. When you're open-minded, it liberates what's inside of the Trojan horse, or what's inside of you, or your friends, or when you're open, you pop, all these persons pop out. When it's you, all those persons are people that occupy you, or that are in your perineal area, that are along your spine, or in those tubes in your back. It might seem weird, but yeah, sometimes we live in a bear or a cat. I noticed I was squatting my cat, because when I would try to poke the ceiling, because I have a toilet on the ceiling, and it's this long, there's a wire in there or something. There's this long, I could feel all these membranes and tunnels everywhere. And they even put notes on yellow stickers in the tunnels. You walk and then you hear this and hear that. And and every time you go right there, well, that's what you hear. It says that. It's in the air. That's not channeling. It's writing on the tape, or just thinking about something, printing a thought. Everything comes from the thought and light. I didn't really manage to demystify. I never really asked myself. I keep on seeing this white screen, this white, everything's white and light. And then the opposite of the tunnel happens, and then you're in the universe. That's what I see. So that would probably be light obeying to a combination of energies, vibrations, and magnetism. And it's thought that materialized light and created the world of the one in which we live in. But we're all one, supposedly, because it's all for one and one for all. But for some sort of reason, there seemed to be just one. Everybody tries to grab one to sell stuff on the right here, but on the mic, on the top of the pyramid. You don't want anybody with ads, putting ads and fake needs into people on that button like they used to do with capitalism, when that system was in place, because we're going to change that. Since we verbalize things into existence, and it's the word and the vibration that pops and gives an effect and a result. What was I saying? So that word. So what do we do? I forgot what I was saying. I hate that when that happens. This is when I stick up there too long. But then when we talk and we're on our autopilot, we place, and we know unconsciously what is where inside of ourselves when we're the alpha or one of the bosses. There's always two chiefs that appears. There's a first and second, and it's the two snakes in the medical staff in the middle, the hospital's emblem, two snakes fighting over power. So that would be in the hierarchic system that uses and evokes trinity and triads and trios, plus dualism also, because there's the dualism in electricity, magnetism, and reproduction for sex, but then there's a trio in all molecules and all atoms, proton, neutron, electron. So if there's three everywhere, why isn't there three? The third would be the kid, I guess, the couple, and then the number three would be the kid that's bumped between the two towers, in the direction of the sun. When they took those towers down, they were breaking a social structure. They were the two good towers that would keep you on the path of love and light became shovels. They became deadly, became spades. And then all your love and good influence disappeared. That's the curse of the Christ, or the one is all that love disappears from your life, and your family even treats you like crazy. There's a whole bunch of things that makes you end up isolated, exiled, or crazy somewhere. Plus, everybody turned into porks and rats. When they get this close to you, they become a little fascist soldier that's giving you a rough time, or putting shit in your bag, or trying to drag you to the hookers, or to hook you on something like John Lee Hooker would hook John, as he's jonesing on dough. Jones and John in the Dow Jones, Jones and John. All those words, they use those good mantras for commercial etiquettes or brands. Like if you say cappuccino is caput, break, then evokes the chi, and then it says no, negates it. That closes your chi. It gives it'll close up and give me a hard spot there where the energy doesn't flow well, because I just said cappuccino. Then when people are all closed, there's a wall in front of you. Blast music through it. Use the music and concentrate the music. Drill holes in your chest, and you'll end up on this cold mushroom-like saucer that spits cold air that really tastes great and that seems magic. If you're evil, you don't get that. You drink the beer. But with the good people, they take the breath when they see the beer appear, because that means energy time. Take your way, the whole way, the my way, Justin's way, Justin power, Justin sane, just in time, just indubitably. So, yeah, you can. I noticed another way that we seem to be channeling is when we switch personalities. When we're talking, and then all of a sudden, it looks like somebody else popped in, said 4 words, and popped back out. And those 4 words seem to be somebody else. There was another person all of a sudden, and then the person became normal again. Or sometimes when people get mad, or that's because they're actually possessed by someone evil, making them act and orchestrating something to make them fight, or to destroy love in couples and helpful people and all that, like they were doing. What else? So that would be another type of channeling, but from the collective mind space of actual human beings. It's a human personality that spoke and printed in your mind. So you embraced the mold and spoke exactly and acted exactly like that person did when she did the action and stretched reality to print and to immortalize that emotion or that what she said. So that would be another way that we channel, and a lot of people channel without noticing. I I wouldn't say that I actually can channel. So I think I have a blockage. I think I don't actually get the whole channeling experience from the other dimensions and I saw someone, Louise Kay. She had these special person. She actually act a bit strange, like joyfulness, silly joyfulness, and stuff that we would normally laugh at. Well, she would openly do, but she had an answer to everything. But they could have made up those answers beforehand and just say them, pretending to channel, but they all say the same thing, and it is quite logical. And I've seen people become other people and other personalities, and or adopt three different personalities in the same sentence. Uh, and then I've seen my own videos. Um, I'd seen the atmosphere change and the black appear and the alpha, 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 alpha. I'm trying to get you to the alpha, alpha. Look at the air around you, alpha, alpha, alpha. Uh, they're trying to get you into the alpha where the magic is. You can play around a lot with someone's body and reflexes or get them sick. Or drive their nuts, to take them all the way up to dementia and whatever, mental illness with a proper narcissistic occupation. And I have this energy that's stretching inside of me again. It's like a pulley system that's twirling up here. So I'm like, well, like when the Men in Black go like, and then, but when you're a Man in Black, you have that dough twirling in your mind, in your head, and you have these spirals of spaghetti that appear. Do you get the beer? I'll try to get you beer. Oh no, there's a wire in that one. That, and then you get all these hard wires that you have to untwist, and that's when you're channeling that dough, and then that's when you're a one, I guess. Um, so channeling to get the truth, I did surprisingly say all those things a couple of weeks before I saw the channeler's video, and I was surprised to see how accurate both our versions speak of the same elements. So the collective mind space, celestial entities combining and becoming a god, well, the consciousness becoming a god, uh, how we're eternal, how everything comes from light. Well, that I'd learned from physics already, but that is part of that theory is something that I just made up. But where did I get those ideas, and how did I say exactly what the channels were saying weeks afterwards? It's because somebody printed that down on the right back. I knew that it was in my mind, and all of a sudden, I always get this feeling or that I this idea pops in my head, and how did I think of that when I don't even know this and that? How did that idea just pop in my head? Where did that come from? It is not terms that I normally use or whatever, but you just knew it. That's the collective mind space again that steps in. So when you're it, they print a story inside of you, and then when you're on the top of the pyramid, you boo you say e. You just say something and it'll spill all over the world. Since we twisted the pyramid upside down that time and we restructured society in this revolution, we're right in the middle of a revolution, and it's an underground revolution from a narcissistic occupation and control, and from getting all those social structures back together of all the triads and the trinities and teams, the golden trio, and our squadrons of defense against evil. But slowly evil, if we speak no evil, will disappear. It's just ego related and money related, but we're going to change things in this revolution. Since we have the power to write and to influence people, we are going to change for better all of those things, and in order to save humanity, because with the fires and the global warming going, we might just starve. So we shouldn't evoke that fact. And we should say that we will not profit, we will not accomplish Noah's Arch's prophecy with global warming. Prophecies do come true. You have to be careful. That's when they're written down. They will become reality, because it's thought that's the origin of whatever materializes. So yeah, that was my brief right here channeling oneness report for November. I'm still twirling those wires, and I just can't stop. Plus, it rubs your sex chakra, so there's this love horny feeling that you feel all the time. So you just can't stop wiggling. You're kind of mentally masturbating. I'm all dressed up. I'm not touching. It's just from waiting. You can feel the love. It's playful. It feels good. So you keep on rubbing that energy. Plus, when you rub the dough, the energy, it liberates all this cool beer or this prana, this chi. Like I'm giving you tons of that energy as we speak. And somebody made it in the attic. There's still this tube. I can't really figure out what that tube on my head is doing there. There was one tube that was leading to my roommate's room, and he would give me envies and make me want to do this and that, and do what I shouldn't do. It was actually killing me. So if you would have had people around you, or the one that was actually killing you would have flashed, because I kind of get the right things to flash and place the right things at the right spot, because they're all in my home. So I knew who has which energy and which words affect who, and it all fits in like a puzzle. When you talk in public, when you're one or a chief, they adopt positions when you speak a certain way, and you can command, give orders, and they most likely will obey if it's not too much of a drastic change or immoral, or the more complex the command, the more risk that you might have it backfire and have the guy not do it if it's too much asking. But commands that go with the flow, they will obey, and you just have to casually speak them into becoming what you want them to be, and adopting the attitude you want them to have. And they'll naturally just have to think and be yourself, and they will naturally adopt a position in which everybody's comfortable and all that. Except if they're narcissists, they'll keep on trying to win all the time, and have the last word, and be right, and blah blah blah, and then they try to dominate you and command you, and blah blah blah. It's a mental illness, and narcissism. That's what causes all mental illnesses. I have a video about that in my videos. So yeah, when you're one, you're extra sensitive. You feel the love. Everybody, when they do that, you can see what's the problem is this big love pile. So yeah, fuck the world, fuck the system, fuck like Jesus, fuck Jesus, fuck the one, fuck all, fuck, and fuck fucks. So I have a nice fucking time, because fuck is war and fuck is love, and love transforms evil into good. So everything transforms, Einstein. So that was my channeling experience for you today. Peace. Oh, look at that energy. Do you feel when we're playing with, can you feel us as if this membrane would wrap around, or the air or the energy? It looks like you're putting gloves, and then when they play it around with the energy. Anyways, that will be for next time. Bye bye.